She's Julianna Peña. You know her, Venezuelan vixen herself. She was in attendance in Vancouver. There she is. Oh, hello, Julianna. How are you? Wow. The biggest heel in the business right now. That's what they say. You're the number one heel in the game. Are you comfortable with this statement?
Yes, coming from you, Hilwani, absolutely.
By the way, speaking of that, when you were on the show last time, you called us the Parlay Boys, and we've been talking about this ever since. But
I got a bone to pick with you Parlay Boys, okay? I gave you a name and I gave you a name for a reason. And you guys, okay, have lost 3 weeks in a row being back to the Parlay Pals.
Wow.
When you guys were the Parlay Boys, you were finally in the black, and now you guys are sucking it up. The only one that's worth a damn is that GC. So
Whoa.
Literally, I
Who's
think you guys
feeding
need
you
to
this
go back to the
information?
Parlay Boys.
Who's telling you this
What?
stuff? Who's telling you this? I feel like someone's telling. There's no way you know all of this about us.
I watched the show, okay? I'm a fan.
Wow. Well, you are now re-entering our hearts, and I think we have to go back to the Parlay Boys because of this, because we're just people with egos. We just want the egos to be stroked, and now you just feed the egos.
I'm just saying that you guys were doing great when you guys are the Parlay Boys. When you go back to the Pals, I mean, come on. You guys need to stay to the boys until you see this happen again, which will be very soon. Keep that in your minds. It's happening.
And by the way, I even changed our text group name to Parlay Boys after you did it, and they made me change it back just for the record. So I was on, your wavelength, but they were partial to the Pals. In any event, Saturday night, Vancouver. We get to this fight week, build up, Saturday. Actually, you know what? I don't even want to get to Saturday. I want to get to the fact that the last time we spoke was in April, and you cut a mean promo or two, and then you didn't fight on Saturday. So what happened? What's the reason? Can we just address this?
First off, you need to call me Mystic Peña because I have special powers. I told you back then in April that she was 1 foot out the door and she was going to retire. Lo and behold, Mystic Peña strikes again. I got an injury. I'm injured and I am so mad and I'm so sorry. And talk about like depression, you know what I mean? Like when you go from training 3 times a day to an injury that like gets no blood flow to that area. So the only thing that you can do is nothing. It's so depressing, so depressing. But injuries are a part of the sport.
What was the injury, by the way?
My rib. Yeah, I injured my rib. And it's one of those types of injuries, like I said, where you can't squat. It hurts to laugh. It hurts to sneeze. It's one of those things where, like I said, not a lot of blood flow can get to that area. So like the only thing you're allowed to do is play Crash Bandicoot for hours on end. So it sucks, seriously.
How difficult was it to make that call? You get the trilogy, you're ready to go, and now you have to withdraw. How difficult was that?
Well, it was super difficult because at the time I should have waited longer and I didn't. And I think that was one of the things that I regretted the most because I didn't give my coach who was in the air a chance to give me his opinion before my other coaches and agents had already called the UFC. And so it was one of those things where it was like I spoke too soon and I put it in my agent's ear right after I came out of the doctors, and I should have slept on it. I think I was in a frantic position because I had just heard the news. My mom was, freaking out. I was freaking out, and I called my agent, and I just, I'm a kind of like emotional person and wear my heart on my sleeve, and kind of I'm always like, shoot first, ask questions later kind of gal. And you would think that I would learn from that, but obviously I still haven't learned my lesson. And so I regrettably had to withdraw from that fight.
Wait, so could you have actually stayed in the fight if you waited?
I don't think that I could have stayed in the fight, no.
Okay.
But if I would have waited like 2 weeks or something like that, then Irene and Rocky would have fought, and I would have been able to hold on to that fight because I doubt that they would have been able to find anybody that was going to step in on short notice to fight Amanda that soon. I mean, no one wants to fight her now except me. And so I don't think that if I would have waited, I think that they wouldn't have had a choice but to move it back. I waited 6 months for her to recover from COVID. So it was just really upsetting that they weren't able to push that back out 6 weeks. So whatever.
Okay, so they booked the fight. They booked Aldana versus Nunes. Did you think that Aldana had a chance when you heard about it? When you started thinking about it, did you think, okay, she might be able to beat her?
No.
No.
I thought that Irene fought very similarly to the way that she had fought Holly Holm in Abu Dhabi. And I thought that, her only chance would be a lucky punch, and that she wasn't going to be able to handle Amanda Nunes, and that showed. She looked like she didn't want to fight. She looked like she didn't want to be in there, and she didn't show up. And so I was not surprised.
It was a bit of a bizarre showing, no? Like it really seemed like she didn't, I don't know, rise to the occasion. Like she kind of clammed up in there. Is that fair to say? Is that too harsh?
I think that I've never heard Canadians boo, and I heard them booing. And then I know that like the fans were leaving before the fight was over. And I mean, I know that George was sitting next to me, and before her fight started, he was like, "Sorry, gotta go." I'm like, "You're not staying?" He's like, "No, I came to watch you, and you're not fighting, so I'm out of
Who,
here."
George St. Pierre?
So yeah.
Oh, man.
And so I just think that when they want passion, when they want fire, they call the right person, and that's the Peña Power. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it. So it wasn't one of these fights where I was like, this is the greatest fight I've ever seen. It's, if you're going to go out in retirement, that's going to be your retirement fight, like whatever. At the end of the day, I just think that I was sleeping in the stands, and then finally at the end, I had to wake back up and be like, "Oh, is it over? What happened?" Yeah, just as I suspected, and so whatever. Yeah, Irene didn't show up to fight.
When Nunes wins the fight and then starts to call for someone to take off her gloves and all that, and you can kind of tell what's about to happen, what are you thinking?
Well, there was a part of me that really wanted to storm the cage, and like
Oh,
I had so many people that were like, "Yes, we'll do it. We'll throw you over the gate," But then, like my coach Wayne was like, "Don't do it. Be classy and don't do it." And so I let her have my moment, but it was really difficult for me because there were so many times where my urge was to go, like, "Now's the time. Go, go, go. Now's the time." But at the end of the day, she's retired. She's off into the sunset. She's dead to me at this point. And we just gotta, keep the division moving. And now we're stepping into day one of the Peña Power Era. I'm the synthetic champ. I've always been champ in my heart and in my head all the time. I wake up every day being like, "Good morning, champ. You look good." So it's just a matter of time before the belt's around my waist again.
do you really think she's retiring because she's afraid of you?
I would say that, she she has to earn her money the hard way. You know what I mean? Like she's gotta, she knows, what's at risk. A tap.
Wow.
She knows that she's gonna be in there for a long night. And when she was at the press conference with Irene, she said, "Oh, I'm so glad that Irene is now in the fight because it's less heavy for me." That's what she said. It was less heavy for her. Now, what does she mean by that? She knows what's at risk. She knows that I'm a threat. She knows that the Peña Power is coming for her. And that during that fight of 25 minutes, I came for her the entire time. I was throwing up arm bars. I had her in a deep arm bar in round 4. I never stopped fighting, and I was in her face the entire time, and I ran out of time. And so she knows that it's going to be a hard night. And she lied in the press conference. She literally said that had she fought me, she was still going to fight Irene after me. Do you believe that, Ariel?
Well, implying that she would have beaten you and then moved on to Irene.
Yes. Do you really think that was going to be the case?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not a
No, it's
prognosticator.
not. I've been telling you from the beginning. She wanting to retire. She was 1 foot out the door the entire time. She even said it herself. She was going to retire after she tapped to me, but she decided she didn't because I'm too good looking and she doesn't want me to have the belt. I mean, seriously, she's got a problem with me. And you know what? It doesn't surprise me. People have been treating me like that my entire life, like anybody but her. I don't know if it's jealousy. I don't know if it's, something that they just, apparently I'm, very unlikable to some. But at the end of the day, Amanda didn't want the fight. the whole time the UFC asked her to make the trilogy, she didn't want to make it. And they made that clear to me and said she doesn't want to fight you. That's why it took so long to book the trilogy. And when I fell out of injury, she said it was less heavy for her. It's less heavy for her because she knows what's at risk. She owes my training partner that win bonus, because if I would have shown up on June 10th, there's no way she would have won, and she wouldn't have been getting that money at all, period.
Isn't it a weird thing? Like, do you think if you fight on June 10th and you, let's say in your mind, you're very confident you beat her, do you think she still retires? Like on this Monday, June 12th, is she still retired if you would have fought her on Saturday?
She could still retire with knowing that, she is the champ, and that she had as many title defenses as she had. But her body, she's saying, is not holding up, that her greatest weapon is taken away from her, and that she's not able to physically continue. But look, the end of the day, it doesn't matter. All of this is completely irrelevant. Okay. What's relevant now is that she's gone. She's dead to me. I don't want anything to do with this girl now for the foreseeable future.
Do you think she's really gone?
Who cares whether she is or whether she's not? My job is to make everybody forget that she ever existed.
But MMA retirements, they don't usually last like a lot. You know what I mean? Like, you really believe she's done, or do you think she comes back at some point?
Hopefully she comes back. You know what I mean? That would be best case scenario, so that we could squash this thing, and finish this trilogy. It was literally the greatest trilogy ever going to be in women's MMA. It's never happened before. And she lost that opportunity to make it happen. I lost that opportunity to make it happen because I got injured. She is losing the opportunity to make it happen because she wants to retire early. I don't know. I say she took the coward's way out. And that's all there is to it. At the end of the day, like I said, the girl's dead to me. We got to keep this division moving, and I am going to do my job and to keep the division exciting.
And just curious, because I just want to get your your thought process down. If Raquel Pennington was next, if Holly Holm was next, do you think she is only retiring because you are next?
No, I don't. I think that she has fought everybody in the division, and she wants to spend some more time with her family. So all the best to her. Personally, congratulations. Professionally, I just think it was too soon, and that she took the coward's way out. So whatever, who cares? Enough about this girl.
Okay. Did you see her in Vancouver?
I did.
Where?
Yeah.
Where?
I saw her at the airport. I was about 5 feet away from her.
On the way there, on the way, like yesterday?
Yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, on the way there. Yeah, I was in line to do my bag to drop my bag at the bag drop, and this fan came up to me. I mean, she's 5 feet away from me.
Okay.
And this fan came up and asked me for a picture and an autograph. And when I gave him the autograph, I looked up, and she was just sitting right there with the big boot on. And then she was like clutching her daughter in her arms, and like, I know that she knows that I was there, but she refused to look up at me. She would not look up. And, as a mother, I respected the fact that she had her daughter in her arms, and I wasn't going to start anything with her at that point. And, she was just waiting for her wheelchair to get wheeled through the airport. And, I said, if I see her again, I'll do some sign language to her, like,
yeah.
So I wouldn't have to be verbal with her while she's with her daughter, but I never ran into her again.
So you didn't say like congrats or anything like that from afar?
No.
Right.
I mean, like I said, on a personal level, yeah, congrats. If she watches this, congratulations. I'm happy for you. I hope she has a good time. But professionally, I know that it's going to be the thorn in her side for the rest of her life.
Is your next fight?
I believe submission finish is more dominant than any scorecard that you could put in front of me.
Sure. And just curious, do you think this will be a thorn in your side for the rest of your life, that you aren't able to get the last one, that it ends up being 1-1 if it remains this way? Like, do you think this will eat at you, that you won't be able to, win the series?
No, because as far as I'm concerned, I still have a 1-up on her. Okay. She didn't finish me. I was literally coming at her the entire time. I ran out of time. When it brass tacks, when it all comes down to things, when she was supposed to be, the greatest of all time, she tapped.
Okay.
And she was asking for help to get out of there. So like I said, a finish is better than a scorecard. She couldn't finish me. I'm not going to have a thorn on my side, because as far as I'm concerned, I still have a win over her. If we're in the streets, she's dead. She already died. And I just think that, no, baby, I'm young. I still got years ahead of me. I'm still going to be in the fight game for a long time. I'm not going nowhere.
Is your next fight for the belt?
Absolutely, it is. It's not like they have to think oh, what are we going to do? Who's next? Like I'm sitting in the front row. I'm right there. It's not like some, rocket science. I was going to be fighting for the title that night. She retired. I'll be fighting for the title when I'm healed and ready to go.
Who do you think you'll be fighting?
I probably Raquel, I think that I'll fight Raquel. She's done enough, to deserve the title shot, and she's very durable. She's very tough, and I definitely think that that's probably more than likely the fight that they'll make. But I can't say for sure. I'm waiting for a call tomorrow.
I was wondering Raquel, or maybe if Holly Holm beats Mayra Bueno Silva next month, that they would do you versus Holly. Which do you prefer?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm anticipating that it's going to be Raquel, especially since Raquel was supposed to fight Irene. But I mean, you never know what the machine's going to do.
Which, if it was up to you, are you cool with the Raquel fight, or do you have another idea in mind?
Yeah, I'm cool with the Raquel fight. I'm cool with any fight. You pay me and you clear the room, and I'll fight you right now, Ariel. I don't care.
Wow. I want none of that smoke, just for the record. I just want to let you know. You would tap me in 4 seconds.
Anyways, either. Yeah, I don't want to fight men. Every time I fight a man, I get injured. So I'm done fighting dudes.
Oh, you fight men? You mean in training? You only spar with women now, or roll with women?
I need to only spar with women now. That's the problem, is that every time I get hurt is because I'm training with a man. I'm fighting a man.
The ribs? The ribs was because of a man?
Yeah, I think it was a combination of things. I think a week prior, I was like, man, my abs are really sore. It must just be killing it in strength and conditioning. I didn't realize that it was my ribs. And then the week that Countdown came in, I was training, and I was training with the man, and I did an arm drag and popped right out.
Oh man. And how long until you feel like you'll be ready to fight? How long does that take to heal?
So today is 6 weeks, and in order for it to heal, you need for me to grapple or do jujitsu, they say 8 weeks. Because look at it this way: if it's 6 weeks and I start going and train right now and I pop it out again, that's going to be another 6 weeks time to let it heal. So the important thing with rib injuries is you have to give it that time to heal, because if you don't, then it's just going to always be a reoccurring injury that happens every time. And I'm trying to avoid that.
So maybe back end of the year?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Madison Square Garden, T-Mobile Arena, something in November or December, I'm sure.
Okay. And what do you make of Amanda saying forevermore, it's a fake belt now? It's, what do you...
She's got to say that. She has to say that, And so at the end of the day, like I said, she's dead to me, and my job is to make everybody forget about Amanda Nunes.
What is it like, by the way, on Saturday, everyone's glowing. They're all putting their posts about the greatest of all time and all stuff. On the Monday, everyone's glowing. You're the one person on the island who's just trying to rain on the whole parade, poo-poo the whole thing. And this is a lot of the hate that you're getting. I'm sure you're seeing some of it. Well, and I actually don't think it bothers you. I think you actually enjoy it and relish it. But what is that feeling like to be the one person just with a megaphone being like, boo, while everyone is trying to celebrate this woman?
Obviously they want it. Obviously there's some sort of rhetoric behind it, because if there wasn't, they wouldn't be talking to me to the side and being like, can we please mic you for tonight and put a camera on you the entire time? They want it. They want the drama. They want the spice and the flavor. They called the right person. Okay. The Peña Power. I bring the flavor, I bring the spice, and they know it. So that's why they mic me up for this stuff. But no, all I can say is that all of those people's opinions, at the end of the day, they don't like it when I tell the truth and when I speak facts. And these are all things that are current in my life. This is my livelihood. This is how I make my living. I challenge any fighter to call into your show right now and tell me that they wouldn't be irritated too if they stopped the greatest of all time in a submission finish and then, went 25 minutes but was managed to do this to their opponent. And then this person said, no, I'm just going to ride off into the sunset, and we're not going to do the trilogy. It's angering. It's upsetting. Anybody would be upset. And any real true fighter can feel how I'm feeling, and they would feel me on that. They'd be upset too. So the end of the day, what other people say about me and everything like that, none of my business. These people don't pay my bills. I know who I am, and I'm always going to be true to who I am through and through every single day, no matter what. And I could give a crap less if the president of the United States walked through that door right now. I am always going to be me and be my authentic self. And if you don't like it, no problem. If you love it, that's great. I love that. But at the end of the day, I have a job, I have an obligation. I am in the entertainment business, and it's better that they talk about me, whether it's hate or love, than the other 700 fighters that are on the roster that they can't remember their names. Okay?
No, it's a great point, and honestly, I understand where you're coming from. You had the fight; it was booked, right? Like, it's not like you're trying to get the fight. You had the date, you had the poster, you had the fight, and now it's not.
It's just disrespectful. Like, I gave you the time to heal from COVID, so why wouldn't you just return the favor?
I don't know if, to me, you may take it that way. I don't know if disrespect is the word that comes to mind, but I can understand why you are very upset today, because I feel like it was right there for you, and especially when she says
if I'm wrong,
she doesn't want you. Yeah.
Ariel,
Yeah.
she says what? She doesn't want me to have the belt?
Yes, yes. So it kind of feels very personal, the decision, as opposed to personal in terms of like towards you as opposed to towards her. Do you get what I'm saying?
She's going to do anything and everything that she can to shank me because she knows. But I was going to say, I lost my train of thought. Hot dog it. I forgot what I was going to say. Hot dog it.
No. Hot dog it is a great.
It'll come to me.
I've never heard hot dog it before. That's a good one. By the way, why UFC 200 behind you?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out the things in my office. I won at UFC 200.
Yes, I know.
Actually, this is great. Okay, this is great. When was UFC 200?
July of 2016.
July of 2016, Amanda Nunes won the belt against Miesha Tate. And July 2016, I'm standing on the cage. Once again, they mic'd me up and they asked me, give us your thoughts on this fight. And I said, I'm next. And that night she said, I'm next. And it took 5 years after that for her to give me that fight. It took 5 years for her to give me that fight after I had won against Kat Zingano, and Kat Zingano had just beat Amanda Nunes. So that's the one thing that me and Kat have in common. We beat the greatest of all time. Kat beat her in a stomp out, TKO. I beat her with a submission finish and was the only person to make Amanda tap. So it just happens to be behind me. That was not strategic at all, but it's just a good reminder that, the greatest of all time has been beaten by Kat Zingano and me, and I'm the only one that made her tap.
I thought the reason why you put it up there, I thought you were going to say UFC 200, she became champion. Let's end the story 100 pay-per-views later, UFC 300 coming up next spring, me versus her, and then you ride off it. That's pretty good. You see, we should have talked about this beforehand. That's pretty good right there, right?
UFC in the spring, UFC 300. Let's end this, Mandy. Let's do it.
Mandy. By the way, who's more upset, you or the featherweights? Now all the featherweights don't have a champion to gun after.
You want to talk about this? We can talk about it.
Yep.
Let's talk about it, okay? Because at the end of the day, they made that 145-pound division for Chris Cyborg only. When she beat Chris Cyborg, there was nobody else. Megan Anderson, who fights at 135 and bumped up to 45 for a shot at a title. And then Felicia Spencer, once again, can't make 135. 145 is where people go that can't make 135. But just do me a favor. Name 10 rostered UFC fighters. Women, featherweights. Excuse me. Name 10 women featherweights.
Doesn't exist. There aren't.
Doesn't exist. Yeah. Okay. There's none. It's a fake belt. It is a fake belt. So with that being said, they said, oh yeah, I'm the champ. I've done it all. And then Dana says, yeah, we're getting rid of that division and we're retiring. And she says, yeah, retire it. They know what they're doing. Okay. So you agree. It's fake. There's nobody there to fight. You're the champion of a fake division. Enjoy. I mean, literally, I don't know what you want me to say. It's a fake belt at 145. And it was so real, Ariel, that they're diminishing it completely.
Who's the greatest female fighter of all time, according to you?
The greatest female fighter of all time, according to me, is me. You want to know why? Because I'm not a fighter. I'm a warrior. I am a warrior that lives inside, and there's a difference. Amanda's a fighter. I'm a warrior. I'm the greatest warrior. I'm the greatest fighter of all time. And I believe that with my heart because I never stop coming. You're going to have to put me to sleep or knock me the fuck out to get me to stop coming after you. Bet.
That was a good answer. Well done. That was the answer that I was hoping you would say, because like, why would you say someone at this point? You know what I mean? So
Just singe this in your brain, all you little haters. Singe that into your brain because it's happening again. Mark my words.
I love it. Hogan, Flair, you're hanging with these guys. They're giving you a little heel. You're like Hollywood Julianna Peña. Shout out to the NWO Hollywood Hulk Hogan. I feel like there's some osmosis coming on here. Like it's just like the persona is coming together.
Yes, yes. I love the Flairs. I love Charlotte. I love Rick. I love Hulk, obviously. I think that at the end of the day, especially if you can talk to these people personally, they're amazing, incredible people through it. They're amazing people. And, I think that, if you can take a page out of their book, go for it. I'm obviously being myself, and what I really truly feel is factual and true. A lot of people can't handle it or don't like it, but how quickly they forget. Because when I beat Amanda, I shocked the world. Everyone was saying how amazing she is, and she did exactly what she said she was going to do. And everyone was like, "Oh, I'm so inspired. That was incredible." Okay, well, I dropped the fight to Amanda in the rematch, and they hated on me. Scorecards, blah blah blah. You got fucked up. Okay, well, so did she. And I never stopped, and she didn't finish me like I finished her the first time. So a trilogy is supposed to be what is new and what is coming, and she robbed me of that, and I robbed myself by being injured, I'll say that. But I can't prevent myself. It's not that I can't prevent. You never know what's going to happen in training, and injuries are a part of the sport. So I thought that she was going to do the respectful thing and continue to give me the fight and just push it out later, especially if she's so confident. What better way to end your terrific career by fighting in a trilogy fight? But alas, I have talked about this gal way too much.
Yes, yes.
She's dead. She's dead to me. And at the end of the day, it's all about the 135-pound division that I'm going to be carrying moving forward.
Well, I'm sorry it went down this way. When I reached out to you, truth be told, I thought you were going to come on to talk about fighting the winner of this fight. We got a curveball. I know some thought it might happen. I thought maybe we'd see the trilogy and then it would happen. But, that's the fight business. You say you're moving on. Raquel Pennington next. We'll see what happens there. If not, maybe Holly Holm. But I tend to agree. She weighed in. It seems like they're going to give her the shot. So hopefully we see it soon. Thank you as always, Julianna. Appreciate it very much. Get well soon, by the way. I hope you heal up, and we'll see you back out there later this year.
Yes, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it, and happy to be on the show as always.
Thank you. There she is, the Venezuelan vixen herself, Julianna Peña, cutting a mean promo, or two, or three, or four